Hello everyone, David Seven Skies here, and today is a good day. Actually, it was yesterday, because yesterday is when Apple finally released a new version of Logic, which is Logic X 10.2. And it doesn't have that many things, but it has, like you can see right now, a couple of really cool things, starting from this synthesizer here, which is Alchemy. It's actually Alchemy 2 or 3, I don't remember. It was a synthesizer that was done by Camel Audio, and then Apple bought it, and yeah, they developed it on their own, and yeah, now they license it in Logic, and it's pretty awesome. It's a really complicated synthesizer. It sounds really good though. So basically, I literally, this is the first time I see it, so I'm not gonna nerd around it because I really don't know how it works. I mean, I can look at it and try to discover a few things, but yeah, right now I don't really know what it does. All I know is that basically works, but it basically does everything. It can do additive, it can do FM, it can do granular, it can do spectral synthesis. It can really do pretty much everything you want. So here you have 4 oscillators, which are called A, B, C, and they also gave you the D. And basically, each oscillator can have the normal, basic waveforms and blah, blah, blah. But you can also import your own audio. So let's turn off all the oscillator for now, and let's see. All right, so right now we only have, let's get rid of all the delay and shit. Okay. We only have a saw wave, but we can decide to switch to sine wave. Oh, it's being like all stupid, but another thing that we can do, which is the coolest thing in this synthesizer, is that we can import audio. So, for example, I have some files here. They're from a track that I did last year. And now it's going to analyze this little choppy sample. It's going to take forever, I guess. It looks like it's going to take forever. Okay. And you can decide where you want the file to start playing. And bear in mind, this is not really a sampler. It's more of a spectral sort of thing, and additive synth. It works a little bit different. I mean, it can be mapped as a sampler, but yeah, the way it works is a little different. It's not entirely sample-based sort of synthesis. Not that I know of. I think this is a completely different sort of concept. So yeah, I really can't go too much in depth with this thing because I really don't know how it works. Because I, again, literally just opened it, and I might be a synth nerd, but I'm not that much of a synth nerd that as soon as I open a synthesizer, I know how the hell it works. Because really, I don't. Yes, so this is one. Obviously, you don't have to be a nerd to use this thing. You can simply go here. You have tons of presets. You have dubstep presets, which sound nothing like dubstep. Maybe a little bit. And then what's cool about it is that you can basically morph through several type of presets. So for example, we have this one. And you can morph through them. It's pretty cool. You can also go simple. So basically you just have this interface and you don't have to be a super nerd to know what the hell you're doing here. And then, yeah, that's it with the synthesizer. Yeah, as soon as I get a little bit more into it, I could post something new and yeah, a little bit more of an in-depth tutorial how to use this thing. So far so good though. It looks pretty good. It sounds pretty good. So I can't wait to actually get into it and start to do some cool sounds. Yes, this is obviously the biggest sort of thing, the biggest news, the biggest addition in Logic 10. However, it's not my favorite. I really don't care about that. I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's cool new synth, whatever. What I'm really, really excited about is what I'm going to show you now. I think I've been waiting 10 years for this function, and they finally made it. And it actually works pretty damn well so far. So we all know the struggle of, let me set my favorite tool here. We all know the struggle of, we have, for example, a crash, right? And we want to have a crash here, but here we want this crash to be reversed. So usually with Logic, what did you have to do? It was basically renaming this crash and save it as a new file completely. And then you would go here, file, edit, function, and reverse. And if you do this from here, it actually still works the same way. So basically, if I want to reverse this one, but not this one, and I go here and I reverse it, look what happens. Both the files are going to be reversed, and also the file on my hard drive is going to be reversed. So this is a destructive sort of audio editing. So if you do this, your file in the hard drive is going to be reversed as well, and you don't want that, because obviously if you have the same file in other tracks, now if you open them, it's going to be reversed. So what you would have to do is, I don't remember. Yes, this is it. You would have to save the region as a new file, which is called crash1 blah blah blah, or crash reverse. Save it, and then you can reverse it. And obviously, since these are two completely different files, you would just reverse this one, and this would be basically the same. It was a super pain in the ass, and I hated this thing to death, because Logic was the only freaking software that kept doing this. Because Cubase had this thing for, I don't even know, like you can do non-destructive editing on Cubase since freaking 10 years ago, and Ableton is the same, and Pro Tools the same. Logic was just, far as backwards. And finally, they did this thing. So if you go here in the inspector, I think, yeah, it's called inspector. And now you select one of your file, the one that you want to reverse. You see over here, there's this reverse menu with the little button. And if you click the button, look what happens. Boom, they made it, and it works. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, if you change your mind, you just go back and boom, just reverse it. And it's pretty handy because, in all this EDM and trancey and house things that you have, house tracks, you have like those effects of like long reverbs, but they're usually reversed. I think I showed how to do it in some of the videos back then. That's actually really handy because it's just one click and it reverses it right away. Super handy, super awesome. Now, another thing that they did is they finally put a function that it's actually a shortcut, but a key command actually. And I used to use it a lot in Logic 9, and then for some reason in Logic 10 they took it out. And it's basically set the loop point or locators. These are actually called locators, based on a selection that you do. So basically, if I do this, for example, and I want to have my loop, my cycle that would just loop through these 3 regions, normally what I would have to do is go here and then trying to find the right place, which is good right now because the size is decent. But if I have a tiny thingy, sometimes it's a little tricky to grab the right, the right spot. So they finally put a shortcut, which is this one. So basically, if I want to set my locator, I just do this. There you go. and now it's gonna set my locators based on the selection. That's pretty handy. You could have done it already by going here and then set locators. The thing is that if you keep this menu down, you lose a little bit of space, and I hated this because Logic's interface is already big enough and you don't need to get more space. So I completely got rid of this, and so it's a function I stopped using, but now they finally put it back. So yeah, if you want to set it, you just go to here, key comments, edit, and it's called set locators by region, events, marquee, and enable cycle. So what this does is actually it's gonna set the locators, and it will also enable the loop. If you don't want it to enable the loop, you just set it on this menu here, on this voice here, as opposed to this one. They did a new thing, which is basically custom icons, and you can import your own images and make them into an icon thingy in the channel strip, which is pretty handy. I can see a lot of like designer and stuff coming up with cool icons. I actually designed a few years ago. God knows what they are. But yeah, it's pretty handy because sometimes you want to have like a clap icon that's a proper freaking clap, which I guess it's two hands clapping or some stuff like that. But yeah, let's go back to something. Yeah, all right. Okay, now there's another new thing that I noticed. I haven't really looked at it too well, so I'm not sure. I definitely cannot explain it, but I can see here they added a relative volume control, and what I think this does is basically offers you a second sort of a volume control. So when you automate the volume on a track, what happens is that basically if you want to change the volume and you automated it, there's no way of doing it unless you select all the automation, the whole project, and then you trim it down. You can do this, and that works okay. But usually what I do when I want to control the volume, when I want to automate the volume, as opposed to use the gain over here, I use, for example, I go to gain and I automate this volume here, the gain knob, the gain fader here, as opposed to this one. So here I always have control. What I think they did here is basically you can now still have the automation on the main fader, but you can change the volume. And if you see here, this volume, which is the actual absolute volume, is changing over here, but it's not changing over here. So let's go back, and here we have a 1.4 of gain. So let's put it back to 0. And let's see what happens. Exactly. So you see that the fader did automate, and we did automate the volume, but it didn't bounce to 2.3 and then 3.8 and then minus 2.3 and minus 3.8 and minus 2.6. It stayed at 0 and it went down from there. So basically this is a relative volume control, which is pretty cool. I still think it's gonna get a little bit confusing in my opinion, but yeah, it's basically like having a second gain. So yeah, this is actually a pretty cool addition. I will definitely have to mess around with it a little bit to understand how it works, and I'm not sure I'm ever going to use it, but I'll give it a try maybe in a new track and see how handy it is. Another thing that I don't think is a new addition really, but I just sort of found out is, well, I know that they fixed something on it. I just don't know how it worked in the previous version of Logic. So let's do this thing. So let's put a serum, and let's put another serum here, and let's just open up whatever preset. Okay. Sorry, these presets are not available yet. Or actually, they are in a different sort of way. Right, so now we have these 3 layers, and we create a stack track. So basically, it's these 3 synthesizers playing at the same time. And you know that with Logic, you can basically, you can save your channel strip setting. You simply just go here and save channel strip setting as, and it will save the preset, the synthesizer, and every sort of effects that you put in insert. So if I sort of like do this, and then in here, I just do a dip. I'm just going very random here. Just trying to do everything as quick as possible. And here we just put a compressor, whatever. Right, so we have Alchemy with a channel EQ with a little bit of boost. Here we have Serum with a dip in the mid-high. And here we have Serum with a compressor, right? And we have this layer. And we love it. Obviously, this is not the best thing, but I'm just explaining. And we love it, and it's the best sound ever, and we want to use it. We used it in a track, and the track's being successful or whatever, and we are doing another track, and we want to use the same sound there because, it's a follow-up or whatever, because the sound just works, and we want to use it there. Technically, what you would do is, now that you're in the stack track, so basically I summed them together, so I can play a MIDI just in this track, and it will play all the 3 instruments. What you would normally do is, okay, if I want to save the stack track, I'll just go here. Whoops. Actually, yeah, just put stuff in here as well. So, okay. I would just go here, save channel strip as, and what you see here is saving this thing in a bus. This is because this is actually a bus, and Logic at this point doesn't recognize this as a stack track. It just recognizes it as a bus. So if I save it, it's not going to save this instrument. It's not going to save the stack instrument, which is a shame. But there is a way to actually save this. They just made it a little bit confusing, in my opinion. But what you have to do is go into the library, which is something I never do. You call it, for example, Awesome Bass, right? And now what you do is over here, you click save. And now you see here is already called Awesome Bass. Hit save. And now if I, for example, deselect that, and I go to here, user patches, it will say Awesome Bass. So now if I click out and look for Awesome Bass, is actually not going to see it because it's based on freaking thing. So you have to select an instrument. I don't know if there's like a way to do it from here. Well, yeah, if I just select another instrument and I go to user patches and do Awesome Bass, what's going to do is now, you see, it created this stack track and now has obviously the EQ and compression setting that I put in the bus. Then has my Alchemy with the channel EQ, my Serum with the channel EQ, and my other Serum with the compressor. So yeah, this is actually a super cool way to save layered sound. Also, you can't do this by importing from here. So basically, if you go here, I don't have any project right now here, but basically, if you go here and you find a Logic project, what you can do is double click on it, and then you can import all the channels that you have. And yeah, what you can do there is, select this one and then import it, and then select this one and then import it, and then select this one and then import it. But it won't work if you just select this one. It won't import the whole stack, which is a bit of a shame. And again, that's why it's a little bit confusing in my opinion. But yeah, if you just go here, you save your preset, you save your stack track, and yeah, you just open a new channel, new instrument. Obviously, if it's instrument, it's gonna be, you have to open an instrument if you wanna open a stack track instrument. If you have a stack track which is made by audio files for some reason, you are gonna have to select an audio file and then go here and find your audio. Sorry, not an audio file, an audio channel. And then you'll find your audio stacks. Again, bit confusing. They should have done it a little bit better, in my opinion, there, but you get used to it pretty quickly. So once again, awesome bass, and there you go. So now we have 3 awesome bass, which is exactly the same thing, and we don't really need it. But that was for just to explain the purpose of this. Yes, I think this is it with Logic 10. I'm actually really excited. I'm actually really excited, especially for this awesome function here. I'm just gonna sit here the whole day and just play with this and see the file reversing itself. This is awesome. Yeah, so once again, reverse, then Alchemy, then volume control, relative volume control, and fixed stack track, which was already there, but they fixed it. I read that they fixed something, so yeah, it's better, and it was worth mentioning. And yeah, the cycle thingy. This is what's new in Logic 10.2. I'm sure there's new stuff, so if I forgot to mention something, please comment down below. And if you like the video, if you find it useful, and if you learned something new about Logic 10, or if you were like, I don't know whether I want to update already or not, or what should I do, or blah, blah, blah. And if this video helped you with the decision, please like, comment. For me, David, 7skies, that's it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.